Hi, Performers and Achievers. Welcome to Performers and Achievers Daily with me, Raj Gavurla. In today's episode, I'm discussing or talking about the launch of my revised edition of Winning at Entrepreneurship, Common Sense Strategies for Business Owners. It's available on Amazon, and also in the show notes, you will receive a link to access the 18 AI agents that were created so that you can actually take the inspiration, the edu-train-ment, the skillful motivation from the book, which obviously benefits you. And as you read it, those stories and examples, they lodge somewhere in your mind. And since they have some kind of familiarity, you'll eventually, a few hours from now, or as you're reading, you'll receive an epiphany, some clarity, or it'll be a couple of days later, a week later, a month, a year, 6 months, 3 years, 6 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And so that's the whole reason for books, for professional speaking talks or engagements, keynotes, workshops, breakouts, is exactly that. Is that the ideas, the concepts, the inspiration, the edu-train-ment, and the skillful motivation stays with you. And because it's there and you have some familiarity with it, you will then apply it to your life experiences, to your work experiences, to your sports experiences, right? And so that's very, very important. And I can give you so many examples of this. In eighth grade, Mr. Washington substitute taught Mrs. McCormick's eighth grade English class. On the first day of class, he said, "We do not call ourselves or another person dumb or stupid." And during the whole year, no one talked like that. No one. And that just stuck with me. And sure enough, I don't think any person is any smarter or more intelligent than the other person. They just happen to be in a field or have an expertise or specialization, which they know more about, they're knowledgeable about. Not only do they know more about it, but they know how to apply it. Knowing how to apply something. It's one thing to know something, it's a whole other thing to know how to apply something to benefit someone or to benefit yourself or to benefit whomever. And so that's very important. Another one that I remember, I mean, there's so many. Another one I remember is that I was in the airport bookstore. And this is before I started my company, my business. And I saw a book. And since I was in a business at the time, I was working as an automation and controls engineer. And at the time, I was traveling through the airport and I saw a book in the airport bookstore. It's called A Book of Business Wisdom, edited by Peter Krass. And it was essays by extremely successful entrepreneurs. And years later, although I wasn't dreaming or planning to start a company, a business, here I am. And that familiarity with those essays, the stories, the examples, the inspiration, the edu-train-ment, the skillful motivation is definitely things that I recall often. And they have percolated ever since. And that's the whole purpose of this revised edition of Winning at Entrepreneurship. This revised edition. Now, the other thing is that right now there's a trend, and it's a very good trend, and hopefully everybody's joining the movement, and it's on longevity. And so my thing is that, okay, longevity, that makes sense. And sure enough, there's people that are accomplishing things, achieving things that they never done before. And a lot of it is not because of their age, it's because they never were professionally coached and professionally trained and applied that learning and knowledge and their expertise or their know-how to whatever it is, or their specialization to whatever it is that they're accomplishing and achieving. And so that's very important, including preventing injuries. That's very important. And I know a lot of times people hear things, and I hear stories and examples of, well, do one more rep. You can, you can always do one more, or something to that effect, or go out there and shoot 300 shots, 500, 800, 1,000. If you don't build up the muscle to do that, the endurance, just the whole mechanism there, the mobility of the joints, the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, the tissue, the blood flow, etc., then what's going to happen is you'll injure yourself. And those are types of injuries that you don't want. Now, if you started with 50 shots, right? Maybe do 50 shots every other day for a couple of weeks or a week, and then see, how does that feel? And then progress to 100, see how that feels. Then 150, 200, 250, 300, and eventually get up to 1,000 shots. Then you're more likely to be able to actually do that. You can complete that, achieve that without being injured. And so the meaning is very well when somebody says do one more rep. However, that's reality. Okay. That is reality. And I used to do some things like that. And now I know, with my wisdom and just applying my mental performance expertise, my specialization in the zone effect, and or you're the zone effect. It's just there's ways to do it to where the likelihood of injuring oneself versus not injuring oneself is much greater. The other thing that you have probably heard of is you've probably heard of the challenge skills ratio. And that was by Mikolai Csikszentmihalyi. And he was like a flow researcher, which is what practical terms I call you're the zone or and the zone effect. And so really the word skills needs to be put in first. And a lot of people realize this after they try something and they're like, it's not as easy as it looks. Nothing is, right? That's why they're professionals at it. That's the whole reason I'm a mental performance coach, expert that speaks professionally, an author. It looks easy till you start doing it, and then you realize, oh, wait a minute. There are skills to learn, to gain, to apply. And that's important before you can get to the challenge. So what that really means is that you prepare first. Then while you prepare, then you're in. After you prepare, then you start to do the actual work or the achievement or the accomplishment or applying what it is that you're gathering, the information, you're putting it together, and then you do the recovery. And you realize that you're not going to be able to do it all in one day. It might not even happen in a week. It probably won't even happen in a month. It takes a little while to write a book, and especially to deliver a keynote or something to that effect, which, again, it looks like, oh, well, he was up there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, or she was. And you don't realize the preparation and everything that went into that. And they've been doing it for years, probably over time. And so that's why it looks easy. However, it's like anything, they're professionals at it. It's not. And it's similar to you going and trying to run a marathon. Oh, 26 miles doesn't seem much. I just break it down to 1 mile each, a loop around the neighborhood, do that 26 times, and I'm done. Well, most likely, if you're not already prepared to run one and haven't done the preparation to run 26 miles, you're not going to be able to do it. And if you do it, you probably be injured. So this is what is important. So my book is there. So yes, you can go to Amazon and buy it. You can be inspired. You can receive edu-train-ment, be skillfully motivated, and it will benefit you. Yes, it will. And it will benefit other people too if you talk about it, or if you share it with someone, or if you discuss it with someone. Now, the other thing, though, is I added AI agents. And the AI agents, there are 18 of them. And again, to access them, all you need to do is create an account. The account is free, and you can access the 18 AI agents. And what this does is that it takes your specific situation, okay? And it gives you the privacy that you need in order to do this and benefit from it. And so you receive actual artifacts that you can implement, right? That you can implement right away. It guides you through it step by step. It'll put together the steps, then it will summarize, and then in the end, you have a tangible artifact that is implementable, that is practical and useful for you, helpful to you. And that's why I created these 18 AI agents. So the first one is the new best level grower. The next one is the inner voice listener. Next, the spirit enhancing action auditor, the common sense decision maker, the safety, health, happiness rater, the mission statement crafter, the positive change champion, teamwork architect, the client modular approach builder, the trustworthy relationships builder, marketing and networking, the conference call and communication practitioner, professional deal maker, the stimulation bank designer, the helpful negotiator, the results competitor, the confident learner, the keeper of lists. So there are 18 AI agents. And so one here that stands out to me is some people talk about confidence quite a bit. And confidence is not a feeling. So that's one thing to keep in mind. However, confidence does occur when you have specific capabilities. And that's the whole reason for the agent, the confident learner. And so as you put in your situation, it will put together an artifact for you, something that's practical, beneficial to you, helpful to you, useful to you, supportive to you. And so these are just some of the items to look at. And of course, if you get to a point where you still need help, you need support, then you can contact me and we can schedule a time to have a private, personal, professional, confidential, either services or programs. So that's what I have for you in today's episode. If you like my podcast, like it and make a comment. For those of you who are interested in private, personal, professional, confidential services and programs with me, visit Gavurla.com, fill out the brief form, and we will contact you as soon as we can. Enjoy your day.